Mari, what are you doing?
Come on,
We
wait.
get some romance.
All right, stop. Open.
All right, let's see. Oh, she doesn't.
Go ahead, check everything out.
She doesn't look very happy. Bombastic side eye.
So what you think?
Mari, why did you do all of this?
So we've been there for a couple months now, and although it hasn't been the smoothest ride, you know, I'm willing to look past the bumps in the road and probably take this to the next level.
Okay.
Next level?
Yeah. Would you be my girlfriend?
Oh, this is what it is. But have you checked with her?
Mari, I can't.
She doesn't want to. This is called unilateral decision making, and this is when one person makes a decision that affects other people without involving them in the process. It seems like he has decided it's time to take things to the next level because she seems rather surprised, if not uncomfortable with this decision. This is something I hear very often from the men I counsel and that are dating. They very often put more offer into making a grand gesture rather than checking if it's going to be well received.
What you mean?
I mean, look, you're a sweet guy.
For
You're
sure.
genuine, kind-hearted, but I just don't want to take things to the next level with you.
I just don't like you romantically, she means. Now remember, it really doesn't matter how many qualities someone has. Liking someone romantically requires having the right timing on your side, shared feelings, and the right emotional maturity to maintain it long term. Obviously, you're not going to like everyone that is kind-hearted and genuine. Humans practice what is called multidimensional attraction, meaning that attraction is influenced by multiple factors beyond individual qualities. It's about being in the right place emotionally and in one's life, and if someone is aware enough to tell you that they're not able to give you what you seek and deserve, thank them and move on. It's better than wasting your time.
I thought things were going good. What changed? Like, what happened?
Good question.
Look, I appreciate the gestures. I really do, but it is a bit much.
Okay.
I mean, like, the random kisses, holding my hand everywhere we
You guys are not
go.
compatible, obviously, right?
It's a lot for me.
Right. So two things here. When anyone tells you you're too much, too little, or anything in between, they're judging you. And if they're judging you, that means they're not a safe person for you. And if they're not a safe person for you, that means they cannot reciprocate your feelings, regardless of how genuine they are. Now, if this is the case, immediately walk away from this person. Do not turn back and make sure you introspect on how to recognize traits of emotionally unavailable women or people in general. Which leads me to the next point. He might have been so caught up in his own hopes for the relationship that he didn't acknowledge the feelings of the other person, or at least check in with them. And this is called emotional neglect, you see. A big red flag.
I thought girls like that kind of stuff.
I mean, some might, but I'm just not me.
I'm not saying I did it for that reason. Like, obviously I did it because I liked you and I thought that there was a connection, but what went wrong? Like what happened?
She just doesn't like you
I don't really know what else to
romantically, I
say.
think. Yeah.
Just tell me so I can fix it.
Amari, there's no fixing this.
Right.
Like, I just don't want a relationship with you. I'm sorry.
Again, it seems like she just doesn't like him romantically, and he's experiencing some cognitive dissonance here, as it seems like he's trying to bridge the gap between his expectations and reality by asking how to fix this. This is why she says there's nothing to fix, because he cannot change her feelings if they're not there to begin with. What he needs to do is to accept that she doesn't reciprocate and that he has ignored completely the red flags. And I mean, that's fine. Rejection, it's not even that personal. It's like auditioning for a part in a play. If you get rejected, is not because you're a bad performer. Most likely, it just means you weren't right for the part. It is hard to hear.
But look, like, somebody out there might.
For
I'm
sure.
not knocking the kind of guy you are,
For sure.
So this is it.
unfortunately. But we could still be friends, though.
If you're both mature enough.
Look, I'm gonna go now, but thank you anyway. Get home safe, Amari.
Man, it was an uncomfortable conversation, but it is a conversation that needed to be had, right? Like, at the end of the day, she was not compatible with him, it seems. And it is much better that she didn't waste his time. You know what I mean? Whoa.
So stupid, bro. So damn stupid.
Who's that one? Why so aggressive?
Do you
bro?
think I'm just here to ruin what you have going on with women? Do you think that's my job?
Who are you?
Well, guess what? It's not. I'm your discernment because you don't have any.
Discernment is not that aggressive. Now listen, whenever you have an aggressive, judgmental, and harsh voice in your head, know you're dealing with your inner critic, or rather, a version that is unhealthy of the critic. And it very often presents itself as your discernment, but discernment requires more constructive feedback than tearing the person down and presenting itself as the savior. The inner critic often comes during moments of failure or vulnerability as a protective mechanism, and as you can see, it can feel particularly aggressive when we're already feeling down.
Months ago, I told you months ago that this girl did not like us the way that you think that she likes us. And what did you say to me?
What? What?
Come on, say it. This is the only way we're gonna learn.
I said just give it time.
Give it time.
I recognize this. This is a classic conversation between the inner critic and the inner child. One is overly rigid while the other is overly careless, but they're two extremes. Neither are actually right. Yet you might feel compelled to choose a side. However, true discernment comes when you're able to create a middle, a balance. This is called dialectical thinking, where two opposing views are reconciled to create a more nuanced understanding.
I seen the bullshit from a mile away. She continued talking to you because of how nice you were. It was the perfect opportunity to take advantage of the simp that'll do anything for her.
That's disgusting.
And what did she do for you this whole time y'all were dating? Answer your FaceTime calls, say yes to dates, allowing you to open the fucking door for her?
Wow, that one really hurt him.
Bro, I'm sorry, man.
The child clings to hope with no evidence, while the critic provides a skewed view of reality by framing the situation as if the only reason she continued talking to him was due to his niceness, rather than recognizing his inherent worth as a person. That's one. Two, does he expect someone at some point to go like, hey, stop doing nice things for me because I don't plan on rewarding you romantically for them? Because otherwise, why is it that the takeaway of this conversation is not that he needs to learn to put up some boundaries, but that he needs to demonize himself for being nice? And three, this type of thinking long-term can create growing feelings of self-doubt to the point that the person doesn't see themselves as deserving of love unless they're constantly earning it through actions. Therefore, their value is often tied to what rewards they can receive when they're doing things for others. And if they receive no reward, they might feel they have no value themselves.
Sorry for not listening to you.
This breaks my heart.
As much as I want to strangle you right now, it's life.
Right,
It's one of the ways that we gotta grow.
right.
Sometimes people gotta strip us down so we can build ourselves back up.
It's called ego restructuring in psychology.
I forgive you,
Okay, for what?
but this shit not happening again.
But you just said like, what?
Let me out.
Oh, absolutely not. Now notice how the critic switches from the abuser aggressive role to the savior, preaching resilience while still being harsh and unconstructive. It forgives the inner child but insists the same mistakes won't happen again, which is unrealistic, of course, and a direct contradiction with the "that's life" comment. Because pain, failure, rejection, and disappointments are all part of life. You cannot just spend your life trying to avoid them. And you see, these types of contradictions show us how the critic might appear logical at first, but in reality, its discourse is purely based on emotion and ultimately inconsistent. Now, you know what I hate about this, but it was brilliantly showed by the creator? That the inner child never gets attention, never gets affection or care, never receives space. Quite the opposite. The child is made to apologize to the very entity that is abusing him. Very often, this type of inner dialogue mirrors a pattern from the person's past, where they might have experienced a similar treatment from a parent or caregiver or authoritative figure. The apathy shown by the child might indicate a cycle of self-neglect where harsh criticism overshadows self-compassion. Stay golden, guys.